Mayday, Mayday. The doomsday clock is ticking and time's almost up. We're only days away from the tariff hike taking effect, and the impact on prices could be brutal. Essentials could soon cost hundreds, maybe even thousands more. But don't panic, we've sifted through it all, from must-haves to the often overlooked, to bring you the top 15 items you need to snag now before prices skyrocket. Number 15. Coffee. Have you noticed morning latte queues are getting shorter and shorter? Ground coffee reached the highest ever recorded price in March 2025, and that was before the tariff kicked in. 10% has been imposed on Brazil and Colombia, two of the countries that supply the US with a majority of its stock. Yes, very little coffee is produced in the US, and the nation is, get this, the world's second largest importer of coffee, so make sure you stock as many packs as possible to brew at home. Number 14. Electronics. Did you know almost 90% of video and audio electronic equipment are imported? Recent studies also show 78% of small electric appliances and 88% of electronic computers are brought into the country from overseas. Smartphones in particular account for a tenth of the goods imported into the US in 2024, with over 80% of those devices manufactured in China alone. Finally seeing the bigger picture, if President Trump goes forward with his 60% tariff on Chinese imports, almost every smartphone in the country will rise in price. Little wonder why economists already project a $1,000 iPhone could cost Americans $300 more under such a tariff. But it's not just phones. Daily gadgets like the next on our list are affected too. Number 13. Kitchen appliances. Similarly to tech gadgets and other electronics, kitchen appliances are about to go crazy. By our calculations, a 10% tariff on every import and an additional 60% tariff on those from China would hike the price of the average household appliance by 19.4%. So let's say you want to get a brand new toaster after D-Day, you'll have to spend about $48 for the same kitchen appliance that would have cost $40. This also applies to other household appliances like vacuum cleaners, hair dryers, electric toothbrushes, air fryers, and even larger gadgets like washing machines. But this doesn't mean you should bend your back over, drive to Costco, and splurge on every appliance you see. It's only a warning to hasten your purchase if and only if you are planning on getting one already. The same can be said for the next item on our list. Number 12. Toys. This may seem trivial to most Americans at first glance, but let's not forget that kids are critical components of every home. So if you're planning on getting a toy or two for your kids or to satisfy your inner child, be prepared to spend even more after the new tariffs kick in. Economists predict the price of toys could rise by 36%, as again America imports a ton of this stuff every year. Several have been excluded from existing tariffs in the past, but since China accounts for more than 77% of total toy imports in 2024, Americans should gear up for a hefty rise. But again, make sure you draw up a list of the ones you really need. The tariff will affect everything, and you'll need all the cash you have at your disposal to get other important stuff, including this. Number 11. Cooking oil. While we admit cooking oil is one of the more surprising features on our list today, there's more than one reason why cooking oil has been getting scarcer in Costco and other retailers. You see, most healthy cooking oils are made from imports, making them very likely to go up in price. Olive oil, for instance, is mostly made from olives picked in the Mediterranean region. Most that make it into the US via imports come from Spain and Italy, both of which are set to face 20% tariffs as members of the EU, should the reciprocal tariffs go into place. That's why smart Americans are already taking the proactive approach to fill up their pantries, and you should too. Number 10. Rice. If Mother Earth had a de facto food, it would be rice. It's a staple for every country, cutting across eras separated by thousands of years. The ancient Romans enjoyed it, civilizations before them did, and billions across all continents drool over it today. Alas, most of the rice imported to the United States today comes from Asian farms, and that includes varieties like India and Pakistan's dual basmati rice. All things being equal, reciprocal tariffs will generate a 36% markup on rice imported from Asia. So if you're a big fan of Thai jasmine rice, now isn't the time to delay gratification. Grab a bag from a trusty retailer and store it in a cool, dry place. Number 9. Steak. Don't be fooled by the large presence of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association and the classic campaigns. A huge chunk of the red meat Americans eat is imported from Canada, and that only means it's going to get pricey. Now, Costco currently offers great deals to buy fresh beef, so we advise getting a healthy amount, then dicing it up into portion-sized steaks to freeze, depending on when you'll need it. Should Costco not be an option, though, you have our full permission to explore other worthy retailers. Whatever works, just make sure the red meat is fresh, healthy, and at a competitive price. Number 8. Salmon. Similarly to steak, a large amount of salmon you see at retailers were in fact not native. Canadian imports have reduced in recent years, but China has since picked up the baton, and so you know where this is going. Prices will soar, and many will shy away from it. And the worst part is that buying American wouldn't work because the demand created by the high prices of the foreign-caught fish will likely increase the whole bunch. So yes, salmon is another healthy protein to buy in bulk, cut into portions, and refrigerate. And as an added bonus, consider getting a vacuum sealer on your next shopping trip. It's a better, neater, and more efficient way to securely store fish. Number 7. Spices. Whether or not you love exploring exotic dishes, you're more than likely to be affected by the tariff effect on spice. Vanilla, for instance, is a pivotal accessory for baked goods, and Kirkland brand vanilla beans from Madagascar face a 47% tariff. What's more, already pricey products from India will face a 26% tariff when imported, while others from China could soar up to 245%. Those are scary figures given that both of those nations are the leading exporters of spices to the rest of the world. So what are we saying? Well, if you're fond of flavorful dishes like chickpea stew or a tasty mug of chai, hurry up and keep any spices you buy in a cool, dry place. Time is neither on your hands nor feet, apparently, as the next item shows. Number 6. Clothing and shoes. Baggy outfits, old-school accessories, and snazzy shoes are making waves in American fashion. Gen Z and millennials in particular create unfathomable amounts of clothing content on social media like TikTok. But we bring bad news. Believe it or not, stores like Old Navy, Target, and Walmart heavily rely on foreign-made apparel from Vietnam and, you guessed it, China. Some of the figures Trump proposed could make the price of some shoes go up by at least 18%, meaning a running shoe that costs about $100 could go up to about $118. Still think you shouldn't be in a frenzy? Well, there's plenty more where that came from, starting with number 5. Furniture. Recent stats from the Alliance for American Manufacturing suggest up to 75% of all furniture sold in America is produced overseas, which makes a lot of sense because European nations like Italy and France are quite renowned for having stellar architecture and craftsmanship. But Vietnam and China have also been hit with tariffs exceeding 145%, so desks, chairs, and bookshelves from both will soar. And India's 27% will be a big blow as well to the rug market, and the same goes for wall art and lamps gotten from Malaysia. Theirs is as high as 24%, so there's no better time for making a furniture purchase than now. Number 4. Gaming accessories. While the price of consoles are already expected to go up by nearly 40%, who's paying attention to the additional 60% tariff on Chinese goods? Like most of the items we've talked about thus far, China is the major supplier of consoles, responsible for 87% of US video game console imports in 2024. This means the average price of a gaming console is up by $246, a nightmare for all gamers, as the Nintendo Switch 2 and the PlayStation 5 Pro are set to take the market by storm. Number 3. Imported cheese. Sure, there are many American-made brands of European-inspired cheeses, but imports outnumber them by a wide margin. Plus, they're kind of considered the creme de la creme of the cheese world. Tariffs on goods like the Italian Parmigiano Reggiano and Gruyere from Switzerland, the latter of which is set for a 31% markup, will have a ripple effect on cheese lovers. But we do bring a solution. Hard cheeses like the aforementioned freeze surprisingly well, so don't be afraid to stock up ahead of D-Day. Number 2. Toiletries. We all remember how bad it got during COVID. Shelves stripped bare, people fighting over toilet paper and hand sanitizer. It felt crazy at the time, but it could happen again, just in a different way. New tariffs are already driving up the cost of everyday imports, and toiletries are right in the middle of it. Things like soap, toothpaste, razors, and feminine products could get a lot more expensive or even harder to find as stores tighten their inventory to manage higher costs. The smart move: stock up now while everything's still cheap and sitting quietly on the shelves. And while you're at it, make sure you don't leave this one out. Number 1. Prescription drugs. Most people don't realize just how fragile the pharmaceutical supply chain really is. A huge portion of the ingredients used in everyday medications, from antibiotics to blood pressure pills, comes from overseas. That could mean higher prices, tighter restrictions, and in some cases, shortages that catch people off guard. That's why it makes sense to act now. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist about building a small reserve if you or your family require it. You don't want to be flapping in the breeze when it matters most. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future updates. Remember, a stitch in time saves 9.